What's going on, guys? I'm your host from the East Coast, GinaMan94, here to give you guys my WWE Raw review for December 5th, 2016. I wasn't going to review the show because, once again, Raw was pretty much just an average show, but there were some funny things in here that I wanted to talk about, and actually a couple good matches. Raw wasn't the greatest show, but I definitely enjoyed a few parts of it, so I'm not going to completely crap on it like I normally do. Slap a like on the video if you could for me. That'd be very helpful to the channel. And if you guys haven't already, please check out Collision Course Pro Wrestling. The website that I'm working with, it'll be down in the description down below. If you guys can do that for me, it'd be very, very helpful. And let's get right into the review. So Raw kicked off with Seth Rollins coming to the ring. You remember last week, he pedigreed Chris Jericho on top of the car in the parking lot as, you know, he was attacking him or whatever, as Jericho was leaving the arena. So he comes to the ring, says, plain and simple, he wants Triple H. He wasn't shy about it at all. He said, he destroyed the Shield and had to pay the consequences for it, and now Triple H chose to bet against Seth Rollins, and he has to pay the consequences for doing that. And what he did to Jericho last week was to send a message to him. He says he would love to call him out, but that's not how Triple H operates these days. So he has to beat Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. So then, of course, Kevin Owens comes out, and before he starts talking, Rollins was like, how's your best friend doing, or your former best friend? And Owens was like, you shouldn't worry about our friendship. Jericho is fine. I even got him 3 gifts, because Christmas is coming up. So I got him 3 gifts. We're fine. We're working on it. We'll be okay. And then he was like, well, and then the only reason Roman Reigns won last week was because you attacked Jericho and you threw me off. I was worried about my best friend for the whole match. But I'm a fighting champion. And he says he's fight Owens fight. So, he will never back down from anybody, no matter what the situation is. So that's exactly what he wanted to do. So Rollins was like, hey, okay, well, you want to fight so bad, put your title on the line against me tonight. I'm just like, why? Please don't give him a title match. He's done nothing to earn a title match. And Owens was like, I already beat you, plus I already have a match anyway against Sami Zayn. And he was like, and that brings me to the 3 gifts that I gave my best friend Chris Jericho. Says Jericho will have a match tonight against Roman Reigns for the U.S. Championship. The second match, all 3 of them are matches. The second thing is Rollins. He'll have a match with Rollins at Roadblock. And then the third is that Rollins will have to face the Big Show, who returned to Raw. He had to face the Big Show tonight, and that was going to be the match that he had. And he'll go on to face Jericho in a few weeks at Roadblock. So Big Show came out, and it was weird because Kevin Owens brought him out. So you would expect Big Show to be a heel, and he wasn't. He was a face. He was playing towards the crowd and all that good stuff. So match didn't go for that long, but Big Show looks like he's in great shape. He hasn't looked this good in years. He's more athletic than he's ever been, and he's moving more smoother around the ring than he ever has. He dropped a ton of weight. I think he said he was down in the 300s or something, like the upper 300s. And if you know Big Show, he used to be 500 pounds. So to even be that close to the 300s is just amazing in itself. Owens was trying to motivate him the whole match to weaken Seth Rollins so Chris Jericho could have an easier match with him at Roadblock or whatever. Was talking crap to him, like, stay on him. Was even getting up on the apron. And winded up, Big Show got tired of it, and he choke slammed him into the ring from the apron. And then Big Show just looked at Seth Rollins like, he's all yours. And then he left and got counted out. So Seth won by count out. And then Seth was like, hey, don't mind if I do. And then got him up and hit him with a pedigree, sending yet another shot to Triple H because he's using his finishing move and attacking the person that Triple H hand chose and helped win the Universal Championship. So that match is eventually going to happen. Maybe it'll happen at the Rumble, or maybe something will happen at the Rumble to where it sets up the match. I'm kind of thinking they're not gonna fight till Mania. I don't know. I just have this weird feeling about that. It'll be a great WrestleMania match, though. I definitely wouldn't be against it. But they've been building it for this long, and then eventually Triple H will make his return to TV again, and we'll see them set this match up. So after that, we got a cruiserweight match. Jack Gallagher made his Raw debut against Daivari. This dude is impressive, man. He's coined as the Gentleman. I think he's from Ireland or the UK or something like that. I don't know if Ireland's in the UK. I probably sound stupid right now. But anyway, the dude is very, very impressive. I've never seen any of his matches before, but he moves very fluently in the ring and is very calculated with how he does things. Very impressive debut, and he took care of Daivari with this running drop kick to the face in the corner. And, he's, like I said, he's called the gentleman, so he tried to, shake his hand after the match, and Daivari attacked him because not only did he lose tonight, but he lost last week on 205 Live to the same person, so he wasn't feeling it too well, and obviously didn't want to show any sportsmanship. We got Kevin Owens backstage, and he runs into Mick Foley saying he shouldn't be competing tonight, and if Stephanie would have been there, then it wouldn't have happened. Foley was like, well, that's too bad, she's not here, and your match is still happening. Then he runs into Chris Jericho. He's just like, dude, did you see this? Do you see what's going on here? Jericho's like, no, I just got here. I don't even know what's going on. He was like, dude, did you hear about the gifts? Please tell me you heard about the gifts that I got you. Then he tells him about all three things, and Jericho's like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty good. So Owens like, please, we're cool, right? Jericho looked down and was like, no, we're not cool. We're not cool at all. And then he just walked away. And then it cut to Enzo and Cass, who were standing backstage, and they see Rusev and Lana arguing a few feet away from him. So Enzo goes up to him and, is trying to calm him down or whatever. And Cass was like, this is not a good idea. You probably shouldn't do this. And he goes anyway. And, he yells at Enzo. And then Lana defends him, tells him to just chill out. He's just trying to help. Then Rusev was like, you're pathetic, and maybe you should stay with this pathetic man who looks like a woman. And then he walks away. But as he's walking away, Lana grabs his arm and pulls him back. Is like, you know what this means? And she points to her ring that's on her finger because they're married. She's like, this means that no other man can have me. And then she took the ring off and threw it on the ground. And that's when she let him walk away. And then, Enzo, of course, Enzo slid into them DMs so fast, and he picked up that rebound like a certified G would, and he says his hair is tied back because he keeps his ears clean, pretty much just saying he's a good listener. And then he asked her how she's doing. And then she just, was talking about Rusev and everything, and he doesn't appreciate her, and he should be taught a lesson. And then she said if he sees another man appreciating her, he'll get it together and, start treating her better. And then she tells him her room number at a hotel and tells him to stop by in a little bit. So she leaves the arena and go to a hotel, and invites Enzo over. So Enzo just hyped up. He's like, yeah, you already know what this means, Cass. And so that progressed all throughout the night. That was very hilarious with what happened. We'll continue it in a little bit. But Kevin Owens had a match with Sami Zayn. Seen these matches before. They're always good. They always kind of, I'm not going to say they kind of do the same thing, but it's not really a ton of things they can do. These guys have been fighting since they came out the womb together. I'm not even sure how old they are, what their age difference is, but you know what I meant. But yeah, former friends, now bitter enemies who actually ended their rivalry earlier in the year at Battleground, I believe. They've taken very different paths since that match has happened. As we can tell, Owens is the Universal Champion and Sami Zayn's kind of directionless. So we've seen them fight before. They always bring the heat, have great matches. They know each other too well, doing all the things most people wouldn't when they face each other. They had a bunch of diving out of the ring spots. Sami Zayn hit this very well executed tornado DDT while he was sitting on the top rope and Owens was on the apron. It was pretty nice. I've never seen that before. He of course did his patented between the ropes DDT from the outside where he just like goes through the ropes that are in the corner. That move is still impressive to me. I don't know how the hell he hits that, but he hits it. Zayn had a lot to prove and trying to prove that he deserves a title shot against Owens. Trying to prove that he's the better of the two, and he eventually become champion. But that wasn't the case because Owens was able to catch him with a pop-up powerbomb to end the match. They were like fighting on the outside. Zayn threw him into the ring, and then as he got in the ring itself, Owens popped up and then pop-up powerbomb. And that was pretty much all she wrote for Sami Zayn. So Owens won the match despite taking the chokeslam from Big Show like 20 minutes beforehand. We had Chris Jericho in the backstage locker room. And then Roman Reigns came up to him. He was pretty much just joking that he has car paint on his forehead and that he should be ready for their match tonight. He should be getting ready. Jericho says Reigns has been getting lucky a lot lately and maybe it's his turn to get lucky. And Reigns was like, hey, maybe, but maybe you're just doing Kevin Owens' dirty work. Because, Owens was the one who set up the match, so he was just trying to get inside his head, and it worked perfectly. Next, after their hellacious match last week on Raw in the main event, Sasha came away with the Women's Championship in that street fight, no disqualification, over-the-top rope, Battle Royal Diva Pandemonium gimmick match. And she was just pretty much just talking about her win last week. Said it took everything out of her, and Charlotte always brings out the best in her. She walked into her kingdom and walked out with her crown. She said Charlotte doesn't deserve to be in Ric Flair's spotlight after the way she disrespected him a few months ago. And she's also given Charlotte her rematch, and she's challenging her to an Iron Man match at Roadblock. So maybe this is when their feud is going to end, at Roadblock, but that'll be a great match for them to have. They've been having a lot of matches, but at least they've been different stipulations. I think they're finally coming to the end of the Charlotte versus Sasha Banks thing, at least for a while. They can revisit it in the future, but you don't want to do too much right now. You can leave room to grow in the future. But an Iron Man match would be a great way to end the feud. So hopefully that's most likely what's going to happen at Roadblock. I haven't really seen anybody ever oppose a stipulation that wasn't really beneficial towards the person asking. It's kind of like even for both of them. We had the new Cruiserweight champion, Rich Swann, who won it last week on the debut of 205 Live, versus TJ Perkins. And I enjoyed this match. This was a very enjoyable match for me. Swann's very charismatic and methodical in the wrestling ring, and he does those moves, and then he's like dancing while he does them. But it's not like he's just a slouch. He's actually doing some damage to his opponent. And TJ Perkins, who's also very charismatic, they were just like throwing bows at each other. It wasn't really. It was some moves were high flying. Some of them were the cruiserweight type moves, the fast pacing. But they were slowing it down a little bit, picking each other apart with like leg submissions and arm submissions, pretty much just to set up their future moves and to prevent other moves from happening. They were just picking each other apart pretty much. Like I said, Perkins beat Swann in the CWC, and TJP was the first cruiserweight champion, so they have some history together. And Rich Swann was able to pick up the victory after TJ Perkins went for a springboard dive. He caught him with like that spinning super kick that he does. Every time he hits that move, man, it just sounds like their jaw shifted to the other side. It's such a devastating move, and it does a lot of damage, man. So Rich Swann was able to pick up a huge victory over the former Cruiserweight champion to add more wins to his repertoire and to start building his run as champion for however long it shall be. He'll have a rematch against Brian Kendrick tomorrow on 205 Live for the Cruiserweight Championship, and I fully expect him to retain the title. It would be pointless if they had him lose tomorrow. Now we have the petty match of the night. Bayley versus Alicia Foxx. Just because we want to be petty. Bayley gave Cedric Alexander a Bayley bear. It's just these little small little bears with her t-shirt on them. It's just merchandise. And Alicia Foxx got jealous, and now they're having a match. Bayley won. It was pointless. We're pretty much wasting both of these ladies. We're not doing anything with them. This is not classified as doing something with them. That made no sense. This is a high school match. That's it. Oh, you gave my whatever this, so now we gotta fight. Even though Bayley had no intention of trying to get Cedric Alexander at all. I've spent too much time talking about this already. We shouldn't have called Bayley up either. That was just a waste of time. Enzo got a text from Lana. It was like a selfie or whatever she took, and it appeared as if she had no clothes on. And Enzo was like, I gotta go get ready, and sprinted wherever he was going. He just ran away. He was like, yep, I gotta get ready, gotta go to this hotel. And then we had another pointless match. The Tussle in Texas. Titus O'Neil versus Mark Henry. Oh my god. They built this match like it was just the most important match in the history of the WWE. Just to have Mark Henry pull a Goldberg and squash Titus O'Neil in seconds. He didn't take as long as Goldberg did. He threw up the Longhorns because Mark Henry's from Texas. And then Titus O'Neil did it too, except he put him down like, Miami or whatever, because I guess that's where he's from. Something like that. And then after that, the match started, and Mark Henry hit him with the World's Strongest Slam, and that was it. No gimmicks, just finishing moves. Just the finishing move, and that was pretty much that. Enzo was waiting for his Uber to come so he could go to the hotel. Ric Flair pulls up in his limo because he had a segment with Charlotte at the end of the night. They exchanged a hug or whatever. Said he's just waiting for his ride to get here so he can go handle that business. And Ric Flair told him, he pretty much put him over. He was like, you can be the styling, profiling, limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, certified G. And then he gives him his limo. He's like, hey, you got to go handle this business. You can't be arriving in just nothing. You got to arrive in style. And then he gave him his limo, and Enzo was off to the hotel to see Lana. And then we had the United States Championship match, as Kevin Owens said earlier in the night. Roman Reigns and Chris Jericho. Kevin Owens set up this match, and now he ran into Jericho again as he was heading to the ring. And Jericho said, he's going to win the title by himself. He doesn't want him in his corner. He doesn't need him in his corner. Stay away from him. Stay out of his business. Don't interfere in his match. He made it plain and simple. He didn't say it with a smile on his face. Jericho was all game tonight. He was no jokes. He was not joking around. He told Owens to stay the hell away from him. He was tired of it. He's done with them. No more friendship. But yeah, Jericho is definitely on his A game against Reigns. The title he's never won, which is the United States Championship, and it seemed like he wanted it badly. Got in some good work on Reigns, some good heat, but I think he might be due for a face turn pretty soon. The crowd loves him. He's done almost everything he needed to do as a heel. His thing with Owens is, coming to a close, so why not? The crowd wants to cheer for him. At a certain point in the match, even though Jericho told him not to, Owens still came out to help him. He hit Reigns with a super kick, and then I think Jericho hit the code breaker on him, got the 2 count, and then was like, dang. And then Owens got on the apron again. It was just like, oh, dude, come on, you had him. Ref, that was 3. What are you doing, ref? Count to 3. As if he didn't learn before, Jericho hopped up and was pissed. He looked over, saw that Kevin Owens was trying to help him, trying to distract the ref, and went right up to him like, I told you not to come out here. I don't need you. Get the hell out of here. I don't want you out here. I don't need you out here. Leave me alone. Stay away from me. Go to the back. And Owens just looked at him like, all right, I got it now. Turned around and walked away. Didn't even look back. Didn't even look back to see when Jericho turned around. Reigns tried to spear him. Jericho hopped over it, turned back around. Reigns hit him with another spear. And that was it. That was all. Reigns retained his title. Not surprising there. Especially after Owens came out to try to interfere in the match. And, yeah, that was pretty much all that match consisted of. We'll see what's going to happen next week with Owens and Jericho, because Owens pretty much costed him the match by going against his wishes, coming out there trying to help him. And then we get this Enzo segment, man. Big Cass was supposed to have a match against Rusev, but Rusev never came to the ring. Enzo, of course, was at the hotel with Lana. Cass realized it, and he went outside the ring and tried to call Enzo while he was, before he got to the hotel, because he knew it was about to be a setup. So Enzo heard the phone ringing, and he pretty much just ignored the call and put his phone on silent. It was like, not right now. I'm trying to handle this. He gets to the door and goes to turn around and walk away. And then as he does that, Lana opens the door and, invites him in. He's just like, I don't think this is a good idea. This probably isn't smart. And she was just like, oh, looked very disappointed and like walked away. And he was like, hey, you ain't got to get all sad. I can stay for a second, but I really got to go. This probably is not the best idea. And he just knew something was up. And she just tried to seduce him with drinks and like a strawberry or something. She told him to take his clothes off. He was just like, all right, maybe I got a few seconds. Because she was just like, take off your pants. He was just like, hey, okay, if that's what you want. Boom. Took him off down to his boxers or whatever. Looked like he was starting to get a little excited. We'll say the word excited here. And then she whispered something Russian into his ear. He was feeling it. He was like, yeah, what does that mean? She was just like, you're a fool. And he was just like, oh, God. And then she calls Rusev into the room. He's just like, oh, goodness. Hey, Rusev, look, man. It ain't what it seemed. I told her this was a bad idea. You know what? I'm going to just grab my stuff and go. Because obviously this is very bad. I knew it was going to be very bad. We ain't got no beef. I'm going to just bounce. And, he went to grab his stuff, and then Rusev just attacked him and just killed him. Rusev absolutely destroyed him. Oh, my God. This man, he was throwing him against walls, through the couch, over by, that was my phone, sorry. Over by where the drinks and stuff were. It was just, Rusev was playing no games with this man. None at all. He was not playing around. You're not about to just come in here and show off your stuff to my wife and think that I ain't about to kill you. He murdered him. And this man Enzo was just laid out in his underwear. And I'm pretty sure that's what I made this the thumbnail for this video, so you probably just see it. Rusev dragged him out of the hotel room and just had him in the hallway in his underwear, just dead. And I tweeted out on Twitter, I'm just like, all right, now Rusev just needs to have sex with Lana on top of Enzo's body now, just to add extra effect to it. That would have been crazy. Of course, they're not going to do it, but it was just hilarious. This whole segment, it was just hilarious. Enzo knew what was up. Cass tried to save him, but it was bad. Very, very bad for Enzo. And they swerved him, man. That's clutch, man. That's funny. Oh, that's so funny. Oh, my goodness. Wait till Big Cass get his hands on Rusev. Oh, man. Next we had Anderson and Gallows versus Cesaro and Sheamus. And the winner would face the New Day next week for the Tag Team Championships. The whole gimmick here is they're trying to prevent the New Day from breaking Demolition's record of the longest reigning Tag Team Champions of all time. And they're trying to, get a shot at them. The New Day's been pretty much kind of cheating a little bit. Just doing whatever they can to retain their titles, pretty much. So we had a pretty solid match here. It was all over the place, though. Like, New Day were on the outside eating snacks and stuff. Xavier was on Facebook Live. I was watching that at the same time I was watching the match. You had them pretty much just being distracted by the New Day sitting out there. Anderson and Gallows were working over Cesaro pretty well. Sheamus got a hot tag. It seemed like they're working better as a team. I think Sheamus saved them from like a magic killer. Their teamwork is getting better and better. They weren't fighting as much as they normally do. A few things here and there, but it's not as nearly as much as how they used to be. It used to seem like they were fighting each other instead of like being on a tag team. And they're getting better. I think they're gonna be the ones to take the titles off the New Day. I like the dynamic of them. They've had to scratch and claw. They had a best of 7 series, which ended up them having the 7th match of that best of 7 series, killing each other in that match to the point where it didn't even end. And then they get the opportunity to be tag team champions since their best of 7 series didn't really have a victor of the whole series. Sheamus blew a 3-1 lead. Just want to throw that out there. And then now they've gone back and forth in this tag team, and now after their bar scene they had last week, seems like they're clicking. They're a cohesive unit now. They're about their business. They can get the job done. They're not doing all the crazy stuff they used to do before. Like they're focused on winning matches and becoming tag team champions now. And I believe that they're gonna do it. But eventually the New Day, I don't know if they like attacked them. I kind of turned away because I was kind of looking at the Facebook Live at the same time. I think the New Day just like started to attack both teams, so it just ended in a no contest. But Sheamus and Cesaro started to attack and beat up the New Day afterwards, and they pretty much just ran them off as well. So, like I said, they look good as a tag team, and they're possibly going to be the next tag team champions, I hope, because we need the New Day to drop them titles sooner or later. And then we get the final segment of the night, which ended Raw. Charlotte's public apology to her father, Ric Flair. This segment was absolute gold. This is why Charlotte is the best heel in the WWE. She gotta be. I thought it was between her and The Miz. The Miz is great. He's like right below her, but she just elevated herself even more. She said last week it dawned on her that she made the biggest mistake of her life, and she's ashamed of what she did back in May and what she said to her father, and that she's a cold-hearted bitch of a daughter. And she rolled the package of when she absolutely destroyed Ric Flair and told him that he doesn't deserve to be in her ring and to get out of her ring, and she don't need to be in his spotlight. He's in her spotlight. He's the problem and not her, and he's the second best Flair in the family or something like that. And she just like absolutely destroyed him, discredited him, told him he's not allowed to be in her spotlight no more, and just to leave, get out of her ring, and made this man cry. Made her daddy cry. It's Ric Flair. Come on, man. And that segment was gold. So she was just saying, losing the title was hard, but it was harder watching her dad come out there and raise Sasha's hands. It felt like, he was sending a message that Sasha is the woman and the one that he wanted Charlotte to be, and that he was so proud of Sasha and what she had did that he wasn't too proud of his own daughter, and that hurt. That cut deep. That hit her in her soul. She said her heart was broken. She felt like she failed him and asked him to come out so she can apologize. So Ric Flair came out. He was uneasy at first. Then he got in the ring and she was smiling at him, and then she was just like, "Dad, I'm sorry." And they hugged it out like Team Hell No, and it was just a beautiful moment. And then, after she stepped back from him, she looked at him, smiled at him again, and then smacked the ever-loving crap out of him. I saw spit fly. She smacked the hell out of her daddy. He got the taste smacked out of his mouth. She smacked him so hard, he stumbled backwards into the corner. He didn't know what hit him. She was just like, "Why don't you go get Sasha and forget you, and you turned your back on me. I'm your daughter, and you raise her hand up, you son of a bitch." And I'm just like, oh my god, this is great. And then Sasha came down to try to, get her, back up off of him. And then Charlotte beat the hell out of her too. She was throwing her into barricades and tossing her into the ring post and everything. And when she was done with her, she dragged her back into the ring right by Ric Flair's feet and was like, "Here you go. Here's your champion. Here's your girl. Here's your trophy. Be proud of her." Got out of the ring and walked away. I was like, oh my god, the heat. The heat. When I tell you, she was explaining what she did to her father and how sorry she was, and she had tears in her eyes, she was choking up on her words. Just to do that, I fucking love Charlotte. I'm sorry. I do. She is fan-freaking-tastic. Oh my goodness, that was great. That was gold. That was freaking gold. She swerved Ric Flair so hard. He thought they were cool, and then she did it again and buried this man. Oh my gosh, that was great. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad she did that. The way she just delivered that whole segment was just excellent. She deserves all the credit in the world for that. Oh my goodness, man. What did you guys think of that? I gotta hear from you. Like I said, Raw was just an average show. Couldn't really care less about 2/3 of it. But that Enzo stuff, and then the stuff with Charlotte and Ric Flair, I just couldn't pass up on reviewing that. That was definitely hilarious. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you made it this far, slap a like on the video. Definitely helps out the channel. Share it on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever. I'll definitely be appreciative of that. Check out the website, Collision Course Pro Wrestling. It'll be down in the description as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for SmackDown Live review. Peace.